I'm Mackenzie Roth. Welcome to All Indiana Bets. It's all about the NFL.
My name is Jason Hammer, and I think we can all agree, so far, the comeback player of the year in the NFL is Drew Brees' hairline.
I'm Scott Long, and I'm jealous of Drew Brees' hairline, and we are going to make you money. It all starts right now.
Let's go!
Woo, yes!
This is All Indiana Bets. Presented by LUNAZUL Tequila. Feed the wolf.
Oh, yeah, we are feeling good. So happy you're with us. Jason Hammer, Scott Long, especially you. How you guys doing?
You know
We're
what? I'm having a good time. We made a lot of money doing this yesterday for the college football show.
Yes.
This guy right here, if you touch him, you'll burn yourself.
Yeah.
That's how hot Scott Long is at picking games right now.
Can we give the first example of betting advice? When you win making money, I'm 11-4 in the college show, 11 to 12
flex.
on Wish TV. So buy yourself some new shoes.
Oh,
Look at these
yes.
shoes. There we go.
Wow.
I got some new ones on. I want a little something because I'm following your advice. No offense.
Great day yesterday for Hammer.
Yes, but Hammer did awesome.
We're going to bring it on today.
That's
and
right.
I am thrilled about what I'm hearing about the Colts.
Well, a lot of people, this is very interesting, already jumping off the bandwagon.
Everybody is picking the Rams right
Yeah.
now. And when I mean everybody, I mean everybody. So I reached out to my folks at Bet Rivers just to find out what the national money looks like right now.
Okay.
Right now, 80% of the money line on the Rams, 76% of the handle, the point spread, Rams. And keep this in mind about the Colts. Indy has lost each of its last 8 games as an underdog, which they are today, and the road team has covered the spread in 7 of the Colts' last 8 games.
Okay, so we watched, and the two of us were talking about it last week. When you first saw us, we saw every show, the best show, Countdown to Kickoff. Everybody picked the Colts last week.
Yes.
Everybody this week picked the Rams. We told you, stay away from the Colts. It's not good. Everybody's off the bandwagon. There's room for me now. I am
There's room,
so
baby.
excited for the Colts today. I love the play. I think the Colts are easily going to cover that money because if you'd have looked at the line and made it, week before, this game would be almost a pick-em game.
Right.
But now, what is the spread again?
It's 3.5 right now. It's gone down from 4. It's at 3.5. And again, my buddy who runs the sports book out at the Tropicana in Las Vegas said something to me once that makes a lot of sense. If you were going to play this game in week 9, in week 10, what do you think the point spread would be? I don't think it would be 3.5. It would be much closer. And this is what you get in week 2, whether it's college football or the NFL, you get that overreaction.
Yes.
And it feels like the public right now is completely overreacting to the Colts laying an egg last week, so let's call it what it is, and the Rams beating a Bears team do we really even know if they're any good or not?
And they were on national TV, the Rams, and it was just one of those situations. And really, Carson Wentz, our Wish TV correspondent, he played well last week. It was not his issue. It was the backup tackle that we had who couldn't block anyone. Supposedly, Eric Fisher is playing today. I'm excited about what the Colts are going to bring. I think it's going to be a super tight game. I actually think the Packers, thinking of the worst team in football last week.
We're like, well, Scott, we haven't even hit the bar yet.
Right. I'm feeding the wolf. So the Colts, love them. This is your chance. You don't have to bet with your heart. None of your friends believe you should do this. Go the other direction. It'll feel good. You'll seem like a genius. Don't film this if I screw up.
All right, well, hey, joining us this morning from Lucas Oil Stadium, we have Charlie Clifford, Olivia Ray with the Checkdown.
It is great to be back on All Indiana Bets. Great to see you guys this morning alongside Olivia Ray. I'm Charlie Clifford. Colts, Rams favored by 3.5, Olivia. Second straight week, an NFC West team comes in and is favored in Indy. Your thoughts about that?
I mean, well, right now the NFC West is undefeated, so I'm not surprised by that. Colts dogs at home with Peyton Manning and Edgerrin James in town. Tough one here, but good news, Eric Fisher is good to go this week. So
Yes.
good news for the Colts. Maybe that can shake things up a little bit.
Yeah, Eric Fisher on the left side of the offensive line. We know Braden Smith on the right side sitting at home today with the foot injury. Xavier Rhodes with the calf also ruled out. Long list of Colts that are questionable. I can't tell you pregame. Michael Pittman Jr. is out here warming up. Another game we have our eye on. Tampa Bay,
Fun
Champa
one.
Bay, Tom Brady. Favored by how many against Atlanta for week 2?
13.
Is this Friday Night Football?
Yeah,
These
it's
are NFL
actually
teams.
the varsity against the JV. That's what's happening. It's almost like an AAU game. I love that spread right there, 13 points. I'd probably take that one.
That's for Olivia Ray. That's the insight on week 2 for Charlie Clifford. Guys, we'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks, you guys. As always, what do you guys think about that?
I think 13 is an awful lot of points,
Yeah.
but we'll kind of get into some of those games a little bit later on.
Okay.
Scott is so right, though. When the public usually jumps on a team this level, you fade the public. Now, for you noobs who don't know what fade means, this is when you go completely against somebody week after week, whatever reason
Like
why.
I do with Hammer, typically, yeah.
Shots fired. So if people are fading the Colts this week, now is the time to jump on board. Because keep in mind, you're getting 3.5 points at home here. If you're a Colts backer, you don't need them to win the game. You need them to keep it close.
The first week of the season is my least favorite week in the NFL to bet on. And that's because things, you just really can't judge anything. The teams are not fully formatted. I love week 2 because there's these little spots where one team lays an egg and everyone's like, oh my goodness, and wait a minute, all of a sudden the Houston Texans are good. Well, no, that was 1 week. Let's calm things.
Right.
The Colts do need to win this game, though. Teams that go 0-2 generally do not make the playoffs. We are fortunate, though, we are in the AFC South, where pretty much no one's going to be any good. So there
Very
we
true.
go.
All right, you know,
Positive.
we love to do some prop bets
We
around
do.
here.
We
All right, do you
do.
have one for the Colts game?
I do, because if you don't feel comfortable with the spread here, if we're talking you out of your Rams pick, or if you don't feel good about the Colts, there's other ways to bet. I love this one, and you can find this most places. Rushing attempts by Jonathan Taylor, over or under 14.5. I'm scooping up the over on this. A $25 bet pays out around $48. If the Colts are going to be in this game, they're going to have to run the ball. And I get the Rams have a really good defense, but Jonathan Taylor has to be utilized. I don't think they used him enough last week. He was the best running back in the league last year, the last 5 weeks of the season. You've got to get the football in his hands. I want to see Jonathan Taylor carry the rock. That's going to help the protection with Carson Wentz. Over 14.5 rushing attempts with Jonathan Taylor.
All right, JT, I love that. You doing okay, Scott? Yeah, I agree.
I like him, like, I can't even talk because I'm so knocked out. That is the exact play I would have made
All right.
on a prop bet.
This is a rare moment.
Which means I'm going to lose.
I know.
He's going to have 5
I
carries
jinxed
for
him.
-7 yards.
Oh, it's only going to get a lot more fun. Hey, coming up next on All Indiana Bets, he's got 2 very famous sisters, Tia and Tamara, a hot new show, new music, and he's a football fanatic. We're talking to Taj Mowry next. We're having so much fun. We're so glad you're here. Hey, we fell in love with him as Teddy on Full House, and now he has a hot TV show, new music, and he wants to share his love for the game. Here is Taj Mowry. Check him out.
Oh, well, you know, I'm a Los Angeles guy, so I gotta go with my Rams. I mean, like, come on, it's a no-brainer. There is a special place in my heart for the 49ers. It was my first ever NFL game I ever went to. But yeah, if I have one choice, it's gonna be my Rams.
Okay, he's going Rams.
Taj Mowry's going to
Taj.
lose money this week. Smart
Taj.
guy Mike Caboose, he's going to lose money this week.
He was Michelle Tanner's bestie on Full House.
See,
He's
you
the
have to
cutest little
understand,
kid.
I am the voice of the sports fan.
Yeah.
The guy who's like, who's that guy?
Yeah.
I'm always like, who's that guy? The only time I ever know like a show is like, oh, Joe Namath was on Brady Bunch. You know, like when a sports guy shows up, it's like,
Yeah.
well, OJ was in Naked Gun. I remember. So I only
We're
know.
14 minutes in and we got our first OJ reference. 14 minutes in, and OJ references have made their way onto the show.
They're only about football in this. One of the greatest running backs in the history of
Keep
football.
it that way. Let's keep it that way. All right. You guys want to do some scorecards?
Yeah.
Not really.
Check them out.
Not really.
I do.
Okay.
Okay. Who's up?
All right, I'll talk about what I had last week.
Right.
I went 1-2. The Titans laid a complete egg. I thought they would come out and at home at least set the tone with the run. They decided to not do that and get their doors blown off. We won the Texans game. They won the game outright. We didn't even need the points. And the Giants, this past Thursday, the Giants put up an amazing offensive output. They should have won that game this past Thursday. But last Sunday, either the Denver Broncos are the next coming of the '85 Chicago Bears, or the Giants are just inconsistent. So it could be one, it could be the other, but I was 1-2 last week.
This is the segment I always like to put my glasses on
It's
so
time to
I
get
can
serious
read
now.
my picks.
Let's get down to business.
Yeah.
I went 2-1. I'm okay with that. You know, I went unders, and the unders were a little more than the overs. I don't really like the over and unders this week. I'm more about the straight up point spread bets. So I'm not going to talk about the first two. The third one, we are going to talk a lot about at the end of the show.
Oh, yeah.
What a miracle win for me, not such a miracle win for someone else on this set. I hope to go 2-1, maybe 3-0 this week. I can't wait to see what our best bets are going to be.
Man, I
You
was
were
sad. My boyfriend
texting
let me
me.
down.
He was texting me, Mackenzie, that I can't believe I lost a bet to Mackenzie. And then, lo and behold, he comes out and you won it. You waved the white flag
you
and
know
surrendered.
I'm obsessed, and that's why I chose that.
I told
And
you
thought
I
he
am
came home
fire.
From, no,
I am on
you
fire
are.
right now. Do not go against me. Whatever your name is, kid from Full House.
Taj Mowry.
And you know who else is on
He's
fire?
also on a bunch of shows.
Underdogs.
Yes.
Underdogs. 12-4 against the spread last week. 9 wins straight up.
Yeah.
This is why Vegas has those hotels that look the way that they do.
Yes.
12-4 against the spread, and 9 of them straight up wins on the money line. This is why week 2 is the overreaction week.
Right.
So we got some picks coming up. We're going to break down some of these spreads. And Mackenzie's got a little debt to settle with Scott later on.
I do. I'm here for it. Are you ready? That's the question, mister.
I don't know. We'll see.
All right, coming up next, it's time for The Long Shot with Mr. Scott Long. So don't go anywhere. We might hit the bar, too. I think it's time. All right. We'll be right back.
Sure.
There it is, Scott Long's long shot. I gotta tell you right off the bat that I love getting a lot of points to start the game. It just feels good. And there's a big one sitting, there's a couple of them sitting on the board this week. The one that I am making the long shot of the week is Atlanta Falcons, who looked like trash last week. They were just awful. And then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they won the Super Bowl. We got Tom Brady. Everybody loves that team. Not by 13 points better than the Falcons. There's no way that this spread should be that high. It is, once again, the Jason Hammer overreaction.
There it is.
Walk into that game. You don't even have to watch till the third quarter if you don't want, because you got 12.5 points. That's when it's going to get interesting. If you can find a 13 out there, that might not be bad. If you want to buy, which you can do, you can buy it up just a little bit. You lose a little bit of profit, but if you want to feel good about 13, either way, I am all over the Falcons today against the Buccaneers. I'm thinking it's going to be about a touchdown game.
Interesting.
And games like this, you kind of see the blueprints in front of you, right? You can see the Buccaneers getting up by a couple touchdowns, but then the fourth quarter rolls around, and then what do? We take a big whiff.
Oh, no,
And you smell that backdoor cover coming through.
I don't know why I went in on that.
Don't whiff on that one. I mean, please do not. That is, and people that are watching at home, don't take the deep breath in. I don't know what's going on at your house, but you don't do it around a Jason Hammer. That is some betting advice that is solid gold.
Solid.
While you guys are holding your nose, I'm smelling that backdoor cover coming in with that garbage time touchdown. And Houston and Cleveland, this is kind of the same story, different game. So Houston wins last week, but they're still not any good.
Right.
Cleveland lost, but they're really good. At least we think they are. 13.5 2 touchdowns in a league built on parity.
Yeah.
I'm not doing
Wafting,
it this time.
soak it in, take a big deep breath because that backdoor cover is coming when the backup quarterback with 2 minutes left to go gets you a field goal that doesn't mean anything, and with that money, you can go to Waffle House.
Ooh,
And,
yes.
and just so no one's...
Waffle House.
That is 2 days in a
2
row
days in a
of
row.
Waffle
Reference the
When was the
Waffle
last time
House.
Mackenzie was in a Waffle House? Let's be honest.
It's been a hot minute. Well, you painted such a beautiful picture yesterday. Want to retell that?
You don't seem like a Waffle House White Castle kind of girl.
I'm concerned that you're like making money on the side with all these
like
references.
a secret endorsement?
Because these are all, it's not like he's going to go to a 5-star restaurant or something. But just so people are not confused with mine, I just like the Buccaneers. I think you can take the whiff and smell the stench, which is probably the Houston Texans. I would stay away from that game. Take the 12.5 with the Falcons, who are an actual decent team and in a division setup. I love those division dogs. So there we go.
Your whip was so much more dainty than Hammer's. It was just like, whew, yours was a big old wow.
I wish Ponderosa was still open. I'm sad that they closed it in Beach Grove.
The Sizzler? Yeah, all those things. Hey, coming up, it's the Larceny Lock. Now, these are the games the guys feel will be your best bets. So stick around. We're going to see if you agree.
The Larceny Lock is brought to you by Larceny Bourbon. Steal a taste.
Oh, it's Sunday Fun Day. We are so glad you're here. All Indiana bets. Time for now the Larceny Lock. How are you guys doing? Are you ready for this?
Oh, it's great. I love when our producer yells at us in our ear, "You're getting ready to come on the air. You have to stop talking." And like Scott's telling a great story about a comedian that, anyway.
It's because we all have the sense of humor of a 15-year-old boy. He's like, lock it up, guys.
And if you saw our locks last week, you needed to have a sense of humor.
Right.
That was
true.
our one problem last week was the, how do you pronounce the team?
The Titans.
Okay.
Titans.
Go back into the YouTube clip and see how it was spelled. I don't even know if it's TV friendly, but it is fun to say. So we went with the Titans last week. I'm very curious. You know, you've got to be like, I know it's going to change this week for you and me, right?
So we can't have the same game. We've established this.
Yeah, we're not
So
gonna do
I am going to look at this Raiders and Steelers matchup here. Now, I watched the Raiders on Monday Night Football against the Ravens, and a pretty good comeback, a crazy ending. They put up some points. Okay, they're 1-0. Las Vegas is 1-0. They won at home. Home teams are supposed to do that in the NFL. The Steelers, on the other hand, were one of those 12 teams that won against the spread last week. They were also one of the 9 teams that won outright and beat the Buffalo Bills. Heading into this season, a lot of people were writing off the Steelers. Big Ben's old, Big Ben's fat, he's washed up, he's not going to do this or that. The demise of the Steelers, very premature. Now, this point spread has gone up. It was 5.5 all week. Steelers favored over the Ravens. It went up this morning. And I don't like it as much as I did yesterday, but I'm still going to ride the Steelers -6 at home against the Raiders. Raiders on a short week, traveling across the country. I just don't think the Raiders are good enough to be 2-0. I'm going to go Pittsburgh -6 here.
First, I like that. And last Monday night, that was one of my big plays. I was on the Raiders, and they didn't just cover; they won outright for me. So I don't think they're going to do well traveling. Now, my best bet. I love those interdivisional rivalries. Teams are more pumped up. The games are more important. And this week, you got the Panthers +3.5 against the Saints, who looked unreal last week.
Famous Jameis.
Yes.
Yeah, and I loved the Saints in that game, but what I do not like now, it's all about coaching for the Saints. The Saints lost 7 coaches to COVID.
I know.
The first time we're going to talk about COVID, and you're expecting, oh, it's going to be a player. 7 coaches. I mean, can you go to Manpower or some kind of temp agency to just find a coach? Or are they like out on the street, with a board?
Now, Lee Harvey's going to be there, right? Lee Harvey Oswald, the coach of the Saints, he's going to be there.
Sean Payton, he will be there. But ultimately, I love the coach of the Panthers, Matt Rule. I think he's got a great staff, and I am loving it. I would tell you as the bet for the show, we're counting it, plus 3.5. I'd even put money on the money line too for the Panthers because you'll make extra money. I really like the Panthers in this spot.
All right, I like that a lot. I'm going to make my pick later on the show, but I might have to take you on a little something. Yeah.
Why does everybody pick on me? Like every time there's like a wager involved, it feels like I'm the one that gets targeted here. That's why I'm so happy at the end of the show, Scott has to pay off a debt.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think you're ready for this.
Yeah, I know.
Did you see that bag I brought over there? You don't even know what's inside of it.
That's concerning.
But you're gonna know. Okay, here's a question. So when we talked prop betting.
Yes.
Last time it came from your restroom when you finished it up. This time, is it gonna come from the same place? The list you give me.
There's a place I do my best thinking. And I will tell you what I was thinking when we come back. Because we're going to play America's fastest growing game sensation.
That's right.
Prop, lock, or drop it when we come back.
We'll be right back. I don't want to know what you're thinking. I swear, it's like I'm with my brother, and I don't know what.
I just snorted.
Both of these two.
You know what?
You're like the nice, kind brother who looks out for me.
I am trying.
I don't know.
Yesterday, we got a tweet saying he was the gross brother. And I am just really concerned that this segment is going to go that direction. I had no part in it. Hammer said, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Josie Grossi over here.
I'm over here.
Bless Mrs. Hammer's heart. Wow.
The conversations that take place during commercial break on this show, phenomenal. Like we should sell a subscription for that.
Yes, yeah, we should, absolutely. All right, so I love this because this is a segment you created, and it's really sweeping the nation. It's a prop, drop.
Prop, lock, and drop it.
Prop, lock, and drop it.
Right. I know you've done the dance before, when you've been in the club before.
Yes, of course.
And here's the thing with prop bets. Anybody that bets these know, a lot of them don't come out until the day of the NFL games.
Yes.
So I have to write these down in the morning, and then on the fly, we're talking about these, right?
Yes, and so he's very, very professionable. And do you have the list for me?
I do.
I was horrified last week because it was, it smelled funny. It was on a random piece of notebook paper. Did you actually type them out nicely?
I have to do these in the morning. I don't have time to type them out.
I'm so scared.
So, here you go. These are my notes from today. A place where I do my best thinking. These are the bets that I feel the best about.
This is like this is so gross. Is this like toilet paper?
It's clean.
Some hand sanitizer.
That is clean. There is nothing wrong with that.
This is what is going on. All right, we'll dive in. I hope I can read this handwriting. Oh my gosh.
Smell it. I promise you.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Absolutely not. Hard pass on
These are real bets you can make right now before the games start.
I'm horrified. All right, let's get this over with though. Colts. All right, so total completions by Carson Wentz over under 21.5.
I'm going to lock this in, Mackenzie, and we are going to go over on this because you got to remember, if you hit your check down receiver, if you hit a running back out of the backfield where the Colts have great depth, that counts. And when you're trying to move the chains and keep that Rams defense off the field, I think you're going to need Carson Wentz to complete over 21.5 passes. I'm locking this in, and we're going over.
All right, you're locking. Let's go to this one. Vikings wide receiver. You got Justin Jefferson over or under 71.5 receiving, 71.5 receiving yards versus the Cardinals.
This is an over, and I'm locking this in. When you look at his history with Minnesota, he's kind of one of their home run threats. And 7 of the last 8 games, he has gone over 70 yards. That's just under the total here, but I'm willing to roll the dice here. I like this going over.
Okay, and lastly here, let's do a Bengals and Bears over 2.5 made field goals.
Is Andy Dalton starting for the Bears tonight? Yes, here come the field goal units. We're gonna lock this one in over 2.5 made field goals in this game. You're not asking for much, and with this Bears offense right now, with their best playmaker sitting on the sideline, this smells like a field goal fest for Chicago. We're gonna lock that in, and we're gonna go over.
This smells like I'm gonna give back to you.
This smells like a winner. That's what this smells like. This smells like $100 freaking right here.
Up next, we're gonna hear from the wise guy. We got Ryan Kramer coming up next.
Here we are, the wise guy. segment of our show with Ryan Kramer of the Sports Gambling Podcast, a Giants fan, which we are not going to discuss, though you did cover the spread. What are your 2 best bets this week, Ryan?
Well, yeah, you called me wise. I don't know how wise I am for continuing to be a Giants fan. But yeah, as you said, they covered. For my first pick, we're going to head down to Carolina, where the Panthers are hosting the Saints in a situation where they've been quite good over their last 10. 8-2 against the spread when a dog. In this spot, they're catching 3.5, but really this is a fade of the Saints coming off that 38-3 drubbing of the Packers in a game that everyone's talking about. Everyone's asking what's wrong with Aaron Rodgers. And most importantly for me, I'm going to fade Jameis Winston coming off a 5-touchdown, 0-interception spot. So let's fade the public. 75% of the tickets being written for the Saints right now. We're going to take the Panthers plus 3.5, and don't be afraid to sprinkle the money line plus 160.
Hey, and another part about that bet is this is the second game in a row that the Saints are truthfully on the road. Now, let's go to your next best bet, and what is that this week, Ryan?
Well, we're going to head to Pittsburgh, where this is, again, a fade of a team more than it is a play on a team. The Pittsburgh Steelers laying 6 against the Las Vegas Raiders, who are coming off, they played extra football, overtime win in the desert, at home, opening a new stadium against the vaunted Baltimore Ravens on Monday Night Football. Now, on a short week, they head to the East Coast for that early kick, a situation that most coaches have figured out, do quite well, 22-5 against the spread. But this Raiders team, led by John Gruden, only 3-8 in that spot over the last 3. We're going to lay the points with the Pittsburgh Steelers, -6.
So once again, you are on Carolina and you're on Pittsburgh this week. I wish you the best. They seem like good choices. And we will see you next week. Ryan Kramer of the Sports Gambling Podcast.
Best of luck this weekend.
Love and luck. That's what we do here.
Did you hear what the producer, Peggy, said? She said, don't trip, Hammer. Like that. This is like,
we
these
really
are the
can't
concerns.
make it through an entire show without heading back to the bar.
Okay,
so
take your drink. Take your drink.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
I think this is our magical drink that we're going to see later
yes,
on.
I call this the luck juice.
Oh, it smells incredible.
Thank you.
That does smell really good.
Man, this is like the best job in the world.
It is. Let's give it cheers, and we'll do one later as well. But hey, cheers.
I
Big
know
games
that
today.
people are so jealous. There's got to be like, okay, dude, you get to hang out with Mackenzie. You get to have drinks. You
This
get
is
to
delicious.
pick games. You know, you can take it off your taxes on football
Dream
games.
gig. You're making money.
But then you have to work next to Hammer, so it's kind of one of those kind of
Right.
it gives and it takes.
I'm the only one happy to be here today. Like, I look to my left, I look to my right, I see disappointment all around me.
That is not true. But we're making people a lot of money too, so this is very exciting.
And we do this every weekend.
Yeah.
We do the college football show on Saturday,
Yep.
and then the NFL show on obviously NFL Sundays. And we got a couple games that I think warrant our attention. Cincinnati and Chicago.
Yes.
We kind of talked about Chicago a little bit earlier. The best playmaker is on the sideline.
Right.
This could be one of those games where if things start getting a little squirrely for Chicago, you could see that hook, and here comes Justin Fields. This is what Bears fans have been waiting for.
Right.
But what's interesting to me, Scott, is how much Cincinnati money has been coming in on this.
And the money is people that were Bengals fans who know what Andy Dalton brings to a game. That's why they're like, we are betting heavy on the Bengals. I guess my thing is your problem here. If Justin Fields comes in, what's going to happen? The game could go 10 points either way. I don't like the game personally. It's kind of like how I feel about like the Cowboys and the Chargers. I'm a little kind of freaked out about that game. I will say the point spread got a little high on the Chargers. I like the Chargers as a team. I think they're better than Dallas. But when that money starts changing a little bit, it can be concerning.
Right. The NFL, such a league built on parity here.
Yeah.
Usually, if you can get anything above a field goal, you have to really consider it. And right now, that Chargers game is teetering right at 3.
Right.
All right, well, hey, when we come back, this is exciting stuff. We're going to go to the famous Slippery Noodle to sample some Evan Williams peach tea.
On the Rocks is brought to you by Evan Williams. Bourbon done right.
Hello, friends. Brent Holverson here, coming to you from Heaven Hill Brands, Regional State Manager for Indiana, and coming to you from one of my favorite spots in the state, the oldest bar, the historic Slippery Noodle Inn. And what better way to start today? We've got Autumn back here, and our special guest, Mr. Bernie Lover, is coming to us. He's our Global Whiskey Ambassador. Bernie, talk to us a little bit about what we're going to talk some easy summer drinks today.
Oh yeah, we've got the Evan Williams flavors. So Evan Williams, #2 selling bourbon in the world, is probably what you got a handle of at home, and that's what folks drink at home. And these are flavors from that brand. And so the #2 selling bourbon in the world, Evan Williams, doesn't have anything added to it because it's a bourbon, but we take that straight whiskey and we add some flavors to it, and we get these beautiful flavored whiskeys.
A really popular one is the Evan Williams Peach with iced tea. It's very basic, it doesn't get you over the top or anything, so people really go with that quite a bit. That's one I would highly recommend.
These are just drinks you can make at home, and who doesn't have sweet tea at home? Who doesn't have a bottle of this? And off you go.
Yes, so you'll just do about 1.5 ounces of the peach and add a little bit of iced tea. Some people like a lemon, some people don't, but in case you do, there you are, Bernie.
There you go. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Talk to us about the Vegas Bomb. Very simple, easy, in utilizing Evan Williams Peach.
Yes, so the Vegas Bomb used to be a little bit more difficult to make, and for this type of bar, which is high volume, everybody wants their stuff really quick. It used to be like a Crown or an Evan regular bourbon mixed with like a peach schnapps and then Red Bull. But now that we have the Evan Williams Peach, we can just do this with the Red Bull. So, ice. Make them nice and fresh for summer. And I just do like an 8-count pour, because you'll do it with 4 different shots.
Mix up 3 or 4 shots here.
Gives you a little energy.
Yeah, a little energy with the Red Bull. A
little buzz.
All right.
So with the shots, you just go about halfway here. You kind of have them marked. You can do more if you want, but I would highly recommend sticking to the basic. There's that, and then you just top them off with Red Bull, and you could do regular, sugar-free, any other flavors that you'd like, but this is your most common Vegas Bomb here. 1 Red Bull will get you about 4 shots, so. There we go. Ta-da.
Awesome. Well, cheers to the noodle. Cheers to Evan Williams Peach. And cheers to you, Autumn. Cheers to you, Brent.
Outstanding. Again, thank you, Autumn, Bernie, coming to you from the Slippery Noodle Inn. Come join them here. It's amazing what they've got, and one of the oldest, most impressive bars in the state of Indiana. Thanks again. We'll see you next time on the Rocks. Cheers.
Hey, cheers to that. All right.
These are so good.
They are.
I was so excited when I found out that they brought these in the studio here, and I got to go back at our awesome bar and mix these up.
That's right. These are so refreshing. It's perfect for a day like today.
You know, I think this job is really great, and then I see Bourbon Ambassador.
Exactly.
You just talk about like your drinks. So I've done most of my life, you know? I mean, I know there's expertise that Bernie has, but I'm thinking that's like better than this.
The Bourbon Ambassador.
Next.
That is my next job.
Bourbon Ambassador. You got this. Are you guys ready to divulge your picks?
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's dive into it, because that's really what this whole show is all about here. Yeah. And earlier I said I'm in on Pittsburgh. You can find this 5.5. You can find it 6. But I like the Steelers against the Raiders. Also, we're going to pick up some points here. I'm going to be Pac-Man and gobble up those 3 points with the Eagles and San Francisco. Frisco going cross country, not as big of a deal as it used to be, but home teams in the NFL, it's just tough to win on the road. I like the points here. I will take 3 with Philadelphia, and the Broncos -6 at Jacksonville. I do think Trevor Lawrence is going to be good. That time is not right now. And that defense I saw from the Broncos last week against the Giants, I get it's the Giants, but they looked really good. I will lay the 6. I'm in on the Broncos.
So people that watched early know that I love the Colts today. I think the Colts are that kind of contrarian pick that I love, I enjoy.
Fade
you
the
like
public.
to go, you like to fade everybody.
I do. I'm fading the world right now. I will say that I love Jason's choice on Denver. I was on Denver last week when you were on the Giants this week, enjoying them. And I told you earlier, that's too many points to be given the Falcons with the Buccaneers. So when I look at those 3 picks, I'm feeling at least 2-1. And keep in mind that divisional underdogs cover around 60%. So
that's science.
Yeah,
that's science.
Or English or geography, one of those things.
I like it a lot. Well, guess what? Coming up, we have the Mick pick. And also, I don't know if you're ready, Scott Long.
I won.
I mean, you won, but I'm paying up on this bet. I don't know how this works, but I get to do your makeup for the day. What events do you have coming up after this? Obviously, you're watching the games.
People know that your makeup is perfect, so I did not want to screw that up. How are you going to screw this up? We'll find out in the next break.
All right, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
All Indiana Bets is presented by LUNAZUL Tequila. Feed the wolf.
Yes, welcome back to All Indiana Bets. My favorite time. It's time for the Mick pick. Now, Hammer, you said one of your best bets, the Steelers.
Yes.
How'd that go for you last week?
How'd my best bet go last week?
Yeah.
How about you not worry about it?
For that reason, I'm going to fade you. I'm going to take the Raiders for no other reason than obviously to fade you, and obviously Las Vegas. I have the best memories, who doesn't, in Vegas, so I'm taking the Raiders.
I feel like my Vegas experience is always different than your Vegas experience. Like when I go out there, I'm playing blackjack, I'm eating buffets, I'm scooping up some of the yellow. You, on the other hand, you do different stuff.
I will say, last time I was out there, I met Flava Flav, which was pretty cool, right? In his full velour suit with his big clock. But the coolest thing that ever happened, Steven Tyler. I went to his show, first Aerosmith show ever. And I'm going to show you a picture in a second. He sung to me.
Oh, come on.
He sings to me, gives me a kiss.
Really?
And then tells me at the end of the show, he's like, I'm in love with you. And I was like, was that a dream? We actually got tangled. His microphone, because I had like ears in because I was on the stage, so I had to shimmy down and get unlocked. It was the best. It was like, did that just happen? This is surreal. And then throughout Vegas, they're like, you're that girl.
Who goes to Vegas and gets tangled with Steven Tyler? Right? I go to Vegas and I get threatened by bookies.
It was, and it was funny because he had like his fans that had traveled like to 100 shows had his face tattooed and all over them, and they hated me because I got to.
You're like the most interesting woman in the world. I have no idea what you do other than Wish TV stuff, but you're in Milan, you're dancing with Steven Tyler. Like, God bless you.
So we did your pick, but last week did not go so well.
Oh, before I get to this, I have a bunch of makeup here, but do you want to flash back to that?
Yeah, let's just quickly flash back to that.
Check this out. I'm going to 49ers over the Lions today.
Is that the McKay pick?
That's the Mick pick.
The Mick pick?
For 2 reasons, fellas. Jimmy G, the most handsome QB in the league. Sorry, Tom Brady. He's 6 feet and 2 inches of pure handsome, and I love everything that he does. So I'm saying, make Mama proud.
So I was on the other side of that, and I think for 3 quarters he must have heard about how hot you thought he was, and he played like a whole different human being. He played like Tom Brady. He thought he was Tom Brady, and then that 4th quarter. They were up 41-17. I had already given up on that game.
You had texted me, all right, looks like I'm paying up.
This is
so
one of the
this is
called a bad beat. This is we're going to teach Mackenzie. One of the worst bad beats ever. You lost it. We were going to do each other's makeup, so I move, Hammer.
I'm going to go to the bar. You guys have at it. I'm going to the bar.
You want to hit me?
Come up close.
Okay.
Yeah, come here, move your chair.
So I won the bet.
Going to the bar.
And I've never had my makeup done. This is exciting.
Well, I was thinking about your color palette, and I was like, I feel like we're going to pop the lip.
Okay.
This is NARS, for anyone who wants to know. This is like a solid red. Are you doing anything after this, or? Let's see. Okay, so what we're going to do here, do you want to do a play-by-play, Hammer? You're going to love this. We're kind of just lining the lips.
Look at all these bottles we got back here.
You're going to look so pretty for your wife. I love this, okay? So we're just going to give you a red lip. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to your eyes. Then we're going to do some highlighting and some
my
bronzer
son,
action.
when he watched the show last week, he's like, they're not going to do your lipstick, right? And I'm laughing like, no, there'd just be like some, I don't know, a little base, a little cover up for the...
Okay, now close your eyes. I feel like we're going to bring out the hazel in your eyes.
Can you make him look less old? Is that possible? Is there any way you can make him look less old?
These aren't my grade A materials, but that's okay. We're just going to work with what we got because I'm going to let you take these home in case
Somebody tuning in right now is like, who do I pick in the Buffalo game?
We want to do an outer lid. Okay,
we do this show every Saturday and Sunday right before kickoff of college and pro football.
Okay.
All Indiana
Let me get a highlight in.
This is the face of a winner. 11-4 colleges.
May the odds be in your favor.
Bet the Colts.
Kickoff is next.